worst financial mistake I've ever made, I'll be honest with you guys, is this car that I'm currently driving.
I need y'all advice. Whoever filed bankruptcy before, please hit me up and text me. And I'm in so much debt already with this car.
Just because you're about to have your second baby or your first baby, you do not need an $80,000 mom car. You don't.
One of the worst financial decisions I ever made. We didn't know what the value was of the truck that we were buying.
Have you ever noticed how many people say the same thing about cars? Repeating this tragic line. The worst thing I ever did was get this car. Well, to be fair, buying a vehicle doesn't usually feel like a bad choice at first. It feels exciting, it feels earned, and sometimes it may even feel necessary. But people have jumped behind the camera in 4K to warn you about some of the bad financial decisions they've made involving cars. From high car notes, to brand new cars losing value, to negative equity and interest that some people didn't even understand, only for the regret to show up after they've signed their name on the dotted line for a new car loan.
The worst financial mistake I've ever made, I'll be honest with you guys, is this car that I'm currently driving. And it's not the car itself. Like, I literally love this car. I can't imagine myself driving anything else. It's the fact that I have car payments, which is so stupid. It literally makes me sick thinking about it. I wish we would have just waited like a year and maybe saved up like $20,000 in cash and bought a used car, because purchasing a brand new car was so dumb. Not only did it lose value like the second we drove it off the lot, but now we're paying interest payments on top of that. And this car is already 2 years old. Like, it was only brand new for like 5 minutes. So might as well have bought a used car. But at least I learned that lesson in my early 20s so that I never do that again in my life.
What she just said is so valid. I want to show you all something because I love y'all so much. I want you to just be armed with the knowledge, right? So as you can see, we're on bankrate.com, and this article is actually titled Car Depreciation, What It Is and How It Works. She was just speaking about how the car lost a lot of value after she bought it brand new and drove off the lot. And I know a lot of people are like, is that even true? According to this article, it says new vehicles typically start depreciating the moment you leave the dealer's lot. And according to Kelley Blue Book, new cars lose roughly 30% of their value in the first 2 years of ownership. Going on to state this very important fact that I need y'all to hone into: new cars generally depreciate more quickly than older cars. And it's true that any vehicle will lose more rapidly during the first 5 years of ownership. And in case you're wondering, why does a vehicle depreciate the way it does? Well, these are some of the factors. Vehicle usage. This includes the mileage. So the lower the miles, the better. That's why whenever people go to sell a car, if it has low miles, they can ask for more money, because don't nobody want a car that's been ran through. Another factor of depreciation is the vehicle age, the model year, and last but not least, the condition. Being that she said her car was around 2 years old, according to what we just read, she's likely lost about 30% of the value already. And this is why I say people need to be informed about these things before they go out and get a car. It's not to say that nobody shouldn't have anything nice, it's to bring awareness. Because from the looks of it, it doesn't look like she knew that. And perhaps she wasn't told. Many people just simply want a new car. They don't want something that somebody else owned. The dealer might have gassed you up, might have caked you up, made you feel like you need a new car, all for you to have this regret. Okay, this comment here says, we bought used so many times in our 20s and regretted them. Just didn't keep them long enough. Always chasing something better. In our 30s, we bought new and kept 8 years and plan to keep longer now. They go on to say they are now in their 40s and their advice is to pay it off as soon as possible. And honestly, I can see where they're coming from with that advice, because without a car note, you can save a large chunk of money every month. See, the thing is, a lot of people don't understand or possibly consider every single month, if you have a car note, they could be ranging anywhere between like $500. Some people's are over $1,000 for a car note. And incomes vary from person to person. Many people, a good chunk of their income is going to their car. Not just the car note, but the insurance, the maintenance, and it's eating them up. They can't afford to do nothing else. They might as well live in the car. The car might be more than the house, the apartment, and that's where things start getting a little sticky. Interestingly enough, NerdWallet actually just posted an article about this January 12th, 2026, titled, How Much Should My Car Payment Be? Where they go on to say financial experts recommend spending no more than 10% of your monthly take-home pay on your car payment and no more than 15 to 20% on total car costs such as gas, insurance, maintenance, as well as the payments. Now, I want you all to look inward and answer, do you fall within that range? Comment down below. And that question is especially important if you are in the market for a new car, because you don't want to be putting all of your money towards a vehicle every month if you didn't consider all of those things. This is how a lot of people end up having no money left over, living paycheck to paycheck. So hopefully that article helps put things in perspective so you can make a sound decision if you are looking for a car. Another comment here says, dang, rookie mistake, but some mistakes are enjoyable. And you know what I think about that comment? Sometime in life you have the opportunity to learn from other people's mistakes, and sometimes you just have to go through it yourself. And luckily for her, she seems like she understands the impacts of this. I'd be a little bit more concerned if she didn't understand the impacts and kept doing the same thing over and over. So this is good. And even if that applies to you, say you've made some mistakes. We all do. Nobody's exempt. But you do have more power than a lot of y'all are giving yourselves credit for. We have a lot of information now on the internet, just a few keystrokes away. So I encourage y'all, take advantage of the information that's available at your fingertips.
What is one bad financial decision that you regret making in life?
Getting a car payment at 18 years old.
Yeah?
Yep.
What kind of car you get?
I got a Chrysler 300.
What was that interest rate like?
That was like 27 something.
27? Are you serious?
Dead ass.
Like, you capping or you telling the truth?
No, I'm dead.
What was that payment every month?
It was actually, I think it was like 4 something.
Yeah?
Yeah. It was like 4 something.
And why would you say that was a bad financial decision?
Because I didn't have a consistent job.
Oh, for real?
So I was like working like security. So it wasn't no consistency.
Yeah. How was you making the payments? Like, if you didn't have the bread, you just borrowed? Like, type?
Nah. I was just out. Whenever I got the check, I paid it.
Yeah. And you still got the car to this day?
Hell no.
Traded it in, or you got rid of
I got repo, man.
You got repoed?
Yeah.
Damn, and then you got to get your credit back up then, huh?
For sure.
Okay. And then what kind of car we driving nowadays?
I have a X5 and a
Okay. You making monthly payments on them too?
yeah.
And this must have been a while ago, because the fact that he had a 20-something interest rate and his car payment was around $400 speaks to the error in which a lot of us could have got away with getting a Chrysler 300 for a cheaper price and still having a crazy interest rate and it still being around $400, if what he's saying is true. The reason I'm bringing that up is I don't believe that can be done now, because the car prices aren't as they once were. And I just did a little research, a little quick Google search, just to prove my point, because a lot of y'all wasn't outside 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I was like 21, and you could get away with this foolery, right? Let me just show you. It says here, around 10 years ago, yeah, I was 21. Okay, you're just thinking about it. Okay, around 10 years ago, in 2016, a used 2012 to 2014 Chrysler was typically worth roughly between $10,000 and $20,000, right? This is what I remember. Cars were like $20,000. When I was like 18, you could get you a car. Brand new, $18,000, $17,000. But now look at this one. This is a 2023 Chrysler 300. And it says here that they can be anywhere between $36,000. And to be honest, this is probably a normal amount of money for a car nowadays, like $30,000. Stay with me, I'm trying to make my point. 29% on a vehicle that is $20,000 is not the same as you paying 25% on a car that's $35,000. Your interest rate might be the same, but because on the actual principal of the vehicle, it's a larger amount, you end up collectively paying more every month. It's just math. That's why when home interest rates are low, a lot of people want to rush out into the market because they can buy more house. But one thing about the car prices is the actual prices of the cars have gone up, and you still might get a 25% interest rate nowadays. I hope a 30 isn't even possible. Let me know in the comments, because I'm scared if so. I know the high 20s are. Oh, it actually says here that they gave him a 27% interest rate. Oh my gosh, at 18 on a Chrysler 300. Somebody here said, try a car payment at 16. Now how? How? Because you gotta be 18 to sign up to do the contract. What? And I don't know, y'all think his car payment was around like $500 or something, because I don't know what type of Chrysler he had, but at 27%, that interest rate gonna take you through there every time. Every time. He might have extended the loan out like 6 years or something crazy. I don't know.
I need y'all advice. whoever filed bankruptcy before, please hit me up and text me. When I was 18 years old, I really wanted a Jeep Grand Cherokee. So I was talking to my dad about it, and I went to the dealership and I got a 2021 Jeep Grand Cherokee. But at the time I had a Kia, and it was a 2013 Kia, and I owed like $10,000 left on that car. Like, I think like $13,000. So I wrote that in my Jeep. So the Jeep cost me $36,000, and I financed it for 7 years. And since I had the Kia that had a lot of negative equity, I wrote that into my Jeep, which in total cost me $46,000. So I had my Jeep for 2 years now. My Jeep haven't given me no problems, but the problem is I'm paying $1,000 a month for my Jeep. Since I'm planning to move in 3 months, I have to save $5,000. I already saved $1,054, and it's only been a week, but I do not want to bring my Jeep with me because that's $1,000 a month, and I'm so tired of paying that, y'all. And I'm literally in so much debt. My only debt is my car, and I'm so tired of paying $1,000 a month for my Jeep. But I'm literally $20,000 upside down for my Jeep. I don't know if I should let my car get repoed. I don't know if I should do voluntary repo, but they're the same thing. Or should I do bankruptcy? I've been seeing y'all saying in my comments, y'all was like, figure out your car situation before you move. This is literally like me trying to figure out my car situation. I've been looking at like so much research about bankruptcy. I'm trying to figure out, are they gonna take my car? I've been seeing some people, they said it's like a clean slate. I just really want a clean slate. Like, I literally just turned 20 a month ago, and I'm in so much debt already with this car. But if y'all filed bankruptcy before, let me know, please, y'all. Like, I literally need 3 months to figure this whole situation out. Like, I need y'all advice.
This is just tragic. Okay, not even 21 yet, buried in debt, upside down on her car right now. She's paying, what did she say? Okay, here it is, where she's saying the dollar amount.
Which in total cost me $46,000.
Okay, the negative equity that was attached to her other car combined with her Jeep came up to her loan being $46,000. So she's essentially paying $46,000 for a Jeep, y'all. And I'm glad the Jeep ain't shaking for her. It ain't shaking. Because a lot of y'all got the Jeeps and they shaking. Y'all got all these ducks. High car payments. Don't go off-roading. Don't be in no sort of mud. Just got ducks and vibes. And I think the Jeeps got y'all in a chokehold. I'm not sure why she wanted a Jeep at such a young age and with such a high car payment attached to it. $1,000 is a lot of money. Now, she very well may have a high-paying job where this doesn't faze her, but according to what she said, this Jeep payment is doing her in, and it makes sense because she's so young. $1,000 at a young age with likely not a lot of income coming in, you're just asking to never have any savings. And the sad part is, this is the age where it's the best time to get ahead. Granted, I know at a younger age, a lot of y'all want what you want. You want a nicer car, but sometimes it doesn't make sense financially. And you end up in situations where you're talking about bankruptcy, not even 21 yet. You want a clean slate, and understandably so. I want my plate clean too at this point. But when we get down to it, it has a lot to do with bad financial and poor financial decisions regarding cars. That didn't have to be the case. And then she's trying to move to another location, but she doesn't want this headache, this $1,000 of car payment coming out of her check. But what other options do you have besides to pay it, let them repo you, or possibly file bankruptcy? And honestly, it doesn't really sound like she wants to pay $1,000 a month, which I understand. Bankruptcy is also a process, and it has its pros and its cons, and so does allowing the bank to repossess the vehicle. And these are all things that you want to consider before getting a loan. The true cost of owning that car, being honest about how much you are truly okay with paying every month. And something is telling me that based off of the numbers that I gave you all in the articles earlier, she may be going above that 10 to 30% we talked about. She might be going above that for $1,000-something a month. And I don't think we're talking about maintenance here for her Jeep or the gas, because I highly doubt that that's good on gas. Bless her heart. I really want y'all to do better. And it's really sad that she's in this situation at such a 20. I just know the car dealer was smiling ear to ear when they seen her coming. I would advise all of you younger individuals watching this vehicle that are interested in a car, if you can, bring somebody who's seasoned, who has experience with cars, and not just somebody who likes to just drive something nice. Bring somebody who actually understands APRs with you when you are shopping for a car. Someone who understands car loans. The fact that she has a 7-year car loan. I didn't even know it could go out that long. I need to look it up now. She had a 7-year car loan for a Jeep, paying the amount that she has to pay, and she didn't even say what the interest rate was. It can get worse from there, y'all. That $49,000 I think she said she was paying, or whatever the number was, that's not all you're going to pay. I need y'all to understand that. For example, hypothetically, if you get a car and they say, hey, the sticker price of the car, we're going to sell it to you for $30,000, and you have a 27% interest rate, guess how much money you're paying? I'll tell you this to keep it simple. You're not just paying $30,000. You're not. It's going to be interest attached for every year of your car loan. Many times, by the time people are done paying off their car, according to the time frame that they agreed to, like 4 years or 6 years, in her case 7 years, they might have been able to buy that car twice, sometimes 3 times. You might have bought the car for $30,000, but your interest rate was so high, you ended up paying $38,000 more in interest or something crazy like that. In addition to the $30,000 that you agreed to pay in the first place, but really you're agreeing to pay all of it. When you sign on the dotted line and say, hey, I'm gonna take this interest rate, that's ridiculously high. And I'm gonna extend it out even longer. That's even worse. What you wanna do is try to have a good interest rate, 0% being the best, of course, if you can do that, and get the car paid off as soon as possible because you're paying less in interest to the bank. That's how they're making their money off of you all. This comment here says, I was told even if you voluntary repossess, once they sell the car at an auction, you still have to pay off the rest of the loan. I've seen this happen to people in real life. Yeah, they'll take your car after they repo it, sell it to the highest bidder, and whatever's left, that's what you gotta pay. And from what I've seen, if you don't pay it, it ends up on your credit history. Some people get luckier than others. Somebody might take your whole loan and pay it off all the way. You might not have nothing to worry about, but results may vary. So definitely seek financial advice before you just think you just gonna jump into that willy-nilly. Somebody else said one word, gap, and I agree. Gap insurance for all the young folks out there with these high car payments, newer cars, please look into gap insurance. I feel like we've talked about gap insurance so many times on this channel that y'all are probably tired of hearing it from me, but I'm gonna say it again because I know some of y'all are new here. And I loved y'all so much that I even pulled up the article to talk about this. It says here on this Bankrate article, what is gap insurance? Gap insurance is an endorsement that covers the gap between the amount owed on a vehicle and its actual cash value in the event of a total loss or theft. This could mean an accident. That's how a lot of people get a total loss. And I know a lot of y'all are visual learners, so you need it explained. Totally understand. I'm the same. So let's talk about how gap insurance works. It says here, let's say you use an auto loan to buy your new car and currently owe $25,000. However, due to depreciation, your vehicle is only worth $20,000 because remember earlier in the article that we read in the beginning of the video, cars depreciate, y'all. So if you're in a covered car accident that renders your vehicle a total loss, meaning you probably totaled it and your airbags went off, or you have comprehensive coverage and your car is stolen, meaning somebody got the drop on you, your insurance company may only give a maximum of $20,000 minus your deductible. Deductibles vary depending on your terms and conditions that you agreed on. Now, gap insurance can cover the $5,000 difference between what you owe on the car and your vehicle's current market value. You see why this is important, y'all? It also goes on to state some gap policies also cover your car insurance deductible, but note, that is not always the case. So think about it like this. You owe $25K on the car, but the bank says, hey, your car is only worth $20,000. You got $5,000 left. That they looking around and you looking around like, who gonna come up with that money? That's why it's called gap insurance, y'all. It covers the gap. And when you have that insurance, that's to protect you. So you don't gotta cough up $5,000. Because let me tell you who ain't gonna do it. The insurance company, if you don't have gap insurance. And it's even worse when you have newer cars. Now, this was a less painful example. Sometimes the gap that is not covered could be $10,000. It could be $20,000. And this is how a lot of people end up totaling a vehicle and not having gap insurance, going out into the market and getting another vehicle. So not only are they paying like $30,000 for the new car that they had to buy, but they still owe $20,000 on a vehicle that got totaled 10 years ago. And you know what? 10 years ago might have been a little bit of a stretch. Let me just say 5 years ago. And then they end up in a cycle of trying to get out of debt over some cars. It's all over car loans and vehicles. So make sure y'all look into this stuff, y'all. I only say this to help. There's nothing wrong with not knowing this information. At some point, I didn't know. I met somebody who was overly obsessed with gap insurance, and he would talk about it every day. One of my old school platoon sergeants in the Army. You wanna know why? Because he's seen a lot of accidents. And when I became a staff sergeant in the Army, I started to realize why he said that, because I was seeing the same thing. My soldiers was doing the same dumb stuff that he was talking about. Getting a Charger at 19 and wrecking it over the weekend. Didn't even last a month. So yeah, you have the option to learn from the mistakes of others and not repeat it, or you could go out and try to go against the grain. But I don't think you want to do that. I don't think you want to end up in situations like this.
Story time on one of the worst financial decisions I ever made and how you can avoid doing the same thing. If you're new here, my name's Haley. I am in the process of paying down quite a bit of debt, and if I can help one person by sharing this, then it's worth it. It was about 3 years ago. I was 2 months postpartum, not thinking clearly, and my husband wanted a truck. So we went to go look, and of course we ended up finding something.
Right.
We did zero research. We had no idea what the value was of our trade-in. We were trading in a Ford Fusion. We didn't know what the value was of the truck that we were buying and didn't really look it up. Now that I'm looking into what we can do to get out of this loan and get something more family friendly, I'm learning all of the mistakes that we made during the sales process. And if you already know this, then you're probably like, you are so dumb, and trust me, I feel it.
You're not dumb. You don't know what you don't know.
So first mistake was not knowing the value of what we were buying or trading in. Second mistake was that we extended the terms of our loan to be like the longest term amount possible to lower our payment. This just kind of keeps you in debt longer. You end up paying more interest, and we weren't focused on the out of the door price, which you should always ask for, which means it's the price that it's like listed for with taxes, any other fees. The total amount of our loan ended up probably being more than what that truck was worth. How much we owe on it right now is more than what it's worth, so we're having a hard time trading it in. We're gonna be negative equity if we do it right now. I could go on and on about this, but the other big mistake we made was going on a Sunday without an appointment. I found the Car Mom vlog after we made this transaction. She recommends doing research on a salesman, yanking an appointment, trying to getting one during the week, just to get a better sales experience and someone who's not just gonna scam you.
And what's sad is a lot of new parents fall into this trap, specifically mothers. I hear them coin the term, I needed a mom car, or we needed a bigger family car for all the kids, or we just had a baby and we needed more space, and blah, 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 blah. And I can understand why people may feel that way. But baby only this big. All of a sudden, everybody need an SUV. Everybody need, you see what I mean? That might not be true. It may be a purchase that you are trying to rationalize and justify, and it could end up bad like this. It is a very common thing that happens. And not only was she negative equity in her loan, but she extended it the longest period she could, it sounded like. Which again, if you do that, those payments might be lower, but the bank is going to make more money off of you. But most people, when they're getting a car loan, they're only looking at the monthly payment, not the overall bigger picture of the fact that you might have paid for that car 4 times over by the time you pay off the loan, if you're making your payments on time for like 6-7 years. And this is why a lot of people are screaming to the rooftops, hey, pay your car off as soon as possible, drive it till the wheels fall off. Don't get another car loan. Don't go buy another car. Save your money. This is where, if you've never been able to build an emergency fund, if you've never been able to save, you can really do some big stuff here, because you have freed up resources that you can allocate for yourself, not to the bank. See, all the resources are allocated to the bank when you have these ridiculous car loans that are extending years and years out at a time. And this is all fine and dandy for those people who can afford that, but a lot of people can't, especially new mothers. They have other things to be worrying about, other new expenses that they might have. They don't want all their money going to a car. Like, would you want all your money going to a car? It's just some things to think about, y'all. I come in peace. I promise you. These are like tales as old as time. They just keep on repeating over and over and over. They're just different faces in every video. I promise you, they're just different faces. They all have the same story. I've done so many of these videos. You might just get a different emotion, but the stories are still the same. Somebody here says, you're not alone. This mistake is so common. And they're absolutely right. Someone else says, kind of same situation. We had a decent down payment and still owe more than what we initially thought the car was supposed to be. Can't get out of this loan and don't know how to. Gonna be stuck paying this thing off for another 5 years.
This may be an unpopular opinion, but like I just feel like I need to normalize and like remind everyone, just because you're about to have your second baby or your first baby, you do not need an $80,000 mom car. You don't. I don't need an Expedition because I'm having a second baby. I have a 20-pound dog and I'm about to have 2 small kids. We can easily make do with what we have. My SUV, smaller SUV, will work just fine. Yes, some people may need it for their lifestyle. Sure, some people may be able to afford it. Do not feel like you need it. Like, it's actually getting kind of crazy. Every person I see online is like, I'm having another kid. My car is getting so cramped. I need to get literally the biggest car that's known to man. But you don't need it. You are fine. Normal people can't afford it. And that's like, doesn't make you broke or, you know, financially not okay.
And you know what? That is so ironic. Right after that last video, this is what the unpopular opinion is in regard to mom cars. And we have the same sentiment. Honestly, where was the lie? Show it to me. I'm waiting. She was absolutely right. And that might sting a little bit. I know, because I feel people have bought into the propaganda. And unfortunately, that might even come from other new moms. Yes, I have seen mom after mom after mom after mom. I need me a little something bigger because, you know, the kids get a little bit. Them kids can fit in the back of in a sedan. Now they too good for a sedan because they got some longer legs? No. And if they get to complaining to them, hey, get it together in the back. It's gonna be a tight ride. Especially those of y'all that got like 2 kids talking about you need a SUV. Or some of the men, I need a pickup truck. The men with the pickup truck needs to be studied because some of y'all's husbands, the men, one thing about them, they gonna try to keep a pickup truck, especially here in Texas. But consider you first. Don't forget what everybody else talking about, because let the world tell it. As soon as you pop that baby out, you need a BMW. You need a Range Rover with all the bells and whistles. Thing is, who's gonna pay for that every month? And with your new responsibilities, does it even make sense? Does it even make sense for you? Like, forget all of us. You gotta live with it. But I need to know what y'all think about all this down below. Do y'all think that it's a horrible idea to spend more than 10% or 30% of your monthly income on a car? Or do you know anybody that does? But we got to start making better decisions today in order to have a better future.